sportsmanship required by these athletic contests. Tonight's contest will be officiated under the rules set forth by the National High School Federation, the governing body for high school interscholastic athletics. Tonight is also middle school band night at Francis Howell North. The Francis Howell North Night Pride Band welcomes our special guests, the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students and their families from Barnwell, Hollenbeck, and area parochial schools. Congratulations to these future Francis Howell North Band and Color Card members, and welcome to North. It's a great day to be a Knight. Here come the Knights. Please welcome our visitors for tonight's game, the Vikings from Francis Howell High School. Chain gang, please report to the Howell sideline. Chain gang, please report to the Howell sideline. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise as we honor the playing of our national anthem by our very own Night Pride.
It's rivalry night here at Francis Howell North. Celebrate tonight's pink out game. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joel Bennett. Alongside me, Cole Sherman, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Francis Howell North Knights and the Francis Howell Vikings football game. Now, Cole, both of these teams have had completely different seasons, with the Vikings being 4-2 on a 4-game winning streak and being at the top of the Gateway Conference. Meanwhile, the Knights are still looking for their first win and being last in the conference. What do you think the Knights need to do in order to get their first win tonight?
Oh, yeah, well, we all know that Howell is a very offensive team led by Aiden McDaniel, and biggest thing is, I think, watch out for safety AZ Anderson, as he needs to make a big impact on the defensive side here to stop the offensive game from Aiden McDaniel and especially wide receiver Drew Shear.
And you mentioned both Howell members, Aiden McDaniel and Drew Shear. It's interesting to see that this is actually their homecoming game, as this is going to be the first time that they are coming back to the Francis Howell North Field since last year when they were wearing the black and gold. How do you think that might affect the game overall for them?
Yeah, I really think that, especially with people, anytime you're returning from a school that you know everyone, especially you've played with players from Howell North multiple times, and you're coming back, you just got to think adrenaline's huge for those players. And hey, I would not be surprised if they come out electric here tonight.
And another big story for tonight for the Howell North sideline is that they are out with, or one of their starting quarterbacks, junior Patrick Coaster, is out for this game with a concussion, and so tonight is going to be starter Scott Pauley, and Pauley and Coaster have been sharing, possessions throughout each game, and now it looks like Pauley might be getting the whole game. How do you think that might be affecting how he plays tonight?
Well, I really think confidence is a big thing in that, because you got to think when knowing that you may only get one possession before coming out, and you have to really make every play count worthwhile, really. And I think that may be a little relaxing for him, just knowing that he can make a mistake every now and then, and it's his offense tonight. So be curious to see how he plays that out tonight.
And now, before we start this game, as it looks like they're about to finish up in the huddle, who do you think will be the key players throughout this game on both the Howell North and the Howell side?
Well, you said it. For Francis Howell North, it's simply got to be from the offense side, and that being wide receiver Cameron Lewis and quarterback Scott Pauley. Both of them just have to make an impact tonight. Both of them coming in with pretty strong seasons. Cameron Lewis leading rushing and receiving stats for Francis Howell North. But for Francis Howell, like we said, A. McDaniel and wide receiver Dalen Dalton, as he comes in this game with 9 touchdowns on the receiving side. So those are the big things that we need to watch out for tonight's game.
That's right, and it looks like they're about to get ready for kickoff tonight. And it looks like the Knights are going to be receiving on the concession side. And one final thing before we start this up is that tonight we're going to be playing for this is also going to be played for one of the Howell football players, number 56, who was recently diagnosed with cancer earlier on this year. We hope for a safe recovery by him. All the proceeds of tonight's game are going to be going towards his treatment and recovery. It looks like we're just about ready to go underway here at Howell North. It looks like the Knights are going to be receiving first. It's going to be the junior Cameron Lewis and also the freshman Dontrell Woods in the backfield to receive this kick.
Number 10, Cameron Lewis. Number 21,
and then getting ready to send this off,
number 52,
it's number 52, John Recca. One final thing to mention here, too. The Knights have not beaten the Vikings since 2008. 10-year losing streak for the Knights. They'll be looking to break this in this game right here. And here we go. Recca is ready to kick it off. Pink out game is underway. And he's going to bounce it to the backfield. Dontrell Woods is going to get it. And they're just going to call it a touchback. And the Knights are going to start off possession at the 25-yard line.
If there's one night that the Knights can take a victory from Howell in the last 8 years, tonight is a good night. As you said, we're here for a pink out game tonight. Great cause and just a great time, good atmosphere. Fans are piled up here to hopefully see the Knights come out with their first win of the season.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10. Scott Pauley in the backfield. Dontrell Woods in motion. And there's a flag on the play. Well, the first play of the game. And it's going to be a false start on the Knights. So off the bat, they're already going to be 1st and 15 for them.
It's funny because that's been a big cause this season, just penalties. I mean, we've seen it throughout the season, and just with any yards, just you need any yard you can get. And unfortunate to see someone jumping there early to start off this game.
All right, 1st and 15. Now for the Knights. Lewis is in motion, and they're gonna try and get it for Pauly. And there's a helmet on the field. Looks like he's gonna get tackled in the backfield. Even further, now it's gonna be a 2nd and 20, or 2nd and 15 again, as it's no gain. And here it comes, and Pauly rolls out, and that he gets tackled from behind, and that is a sack, as that is Jake Thomas coming out from behind and making the tackle right there.
Yeah, Knights, Howell defense is all over this early as we're facing 3rd and 17, as look for Cameron Lewis here on the slot to get some yards here on 3rd down.
Let's see what will happen here. 3rd and 17 once again. And looks like he's going to be looking downfield. And once again, the Vikings are able to get it around. And that's a fumble on the play. And that is recovered. And they're giving it to the Vikings, as that was a strip right there. And it looks like that was number 49 right there who recovered that. That is Julius Elliott who made that recovery right there. And that gives the Vikings great position already, only a minute and a half in.
It's exactly what Aiden McDaniel and his crew are. That's just something that you love to see for them, as they right at the 15-yard line, just ready to make some plays.
In the backfield, and he's going to throw it, and almost caught in the backfield. That was a nice diving attempt by number 6, Jackson Hetzel, but unfortunately he was unable to make the catch.
2nd and 10.
As he was able to get around the corner that was covering him. 2nd and 10 now for the Vikings. Comes in and hand it off, and that's going to be a 5-yard gain right there, as that was Gideon Nibbo. And now it's going to be a 3rd down for the Vikings. The Knights are able to stop him here. This is going to be a huge confidence booster for them. Here comes 3rd and 10, and that's going to be a screen pass to Nibbo, and Nibbo tries to get it, and he gets in, weaves his way into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game, as he was able to get around the defenders right there.
Yeah, it's a great play from Nibba as he strikes again, as he's showing no mercy on the offensive side, as he comes in this game with 0 touchdowns receiving-wise, and he puts his first error as there's a missed field goal attempt.
And so with that, the Vikings are going to be leading after 2 minutes, 6-0.
I don't know what happened there on the kicking side for Howell, but it just looked like there was confusion on the snap. Kicker mistimed his kick, and his footwork was off, and it's a little break for the North Knights as, hey, touchdown, and you could be potentially taking the lead. As
That's right. That's going to be the 3rd missed field goal for Recca this year. It is going to be 2 for 5 on the year. And the Knights are going to get possession once again. We're going to try and see if they can make some adjustments and try and get a little bit more downfield, as the defense, as the linebackers were able to just tear through the offensive line and get straight to Pauly on all 3 of those plays.
Cameron Lewis and Dontrell Woods back to receive.
Lewis and Woods are once again back there to receive the kick. Here we go again. And it looks like it's going to be fielded by Dontrell Woods. And Woods is going to return it. And he tries to get past and he gets torn down, and that's going to be
Dontrell Woods on the return.
done at the, they're going to place at the 22-yard line, my mistake. And the Knights will get a second opportunity to try and get something going.
Knights will begin from their own 22.
See, for the North Knights, I think the biggest thing is you have to be able to just take step by step. I mean, you just want to see a first down develop. I mean, you're not very good field position once again, but we'll see how they move downfield here.
And here comes, and that's Cameron Lewis going down the field, and he's able to get it to the 30-yard line.
Cameron Lewis just showing why he's the leader in rushing and receiving yards this year with a nice 5-yard pickup to start the drive for Francis Howell North.
It's a nice 5-yard gain by him. And it's going to be 2nd and 5 now. Let's see what they're able to do now. Here comes once again. And it's going to be a screen right there to Dontrell Woods. And Woods is able to get around some defenders and fight his way forward to the 35-yard line and get the first down.
That's how you want to start possession here, as they came out kind of flat there with, as you heard it, that's a first down for Francis Howell North.
That's right. And a couple of weeks ago when they were playing against Holt here at home, they had a really hard time trying to get that first down. So them already establishing it is something good, as they're going to hand it off to Brayden Darnell. And he is going to get a small gain of around 2 right there.
Brayden Darnell, sophomore, coming in with his first start here at running back position. We'll see how he uses those reps tonight, as he's getting his first look at the starting spot of running back this season.
That's right. 2nd and 8 now for the Knights. See if we can keep the chain moving against this very electric Howell defense. And they're doing another screen, and that's dropped by Dontrell Woods, and there's a flag on the play. Let's see what this calls against now.
The Howell secondary yet again to get much action, as they're just going with the lateral play, and it'll be curious to see if they move downfield later in this game.
And it's going to be against the Knights, so they're going to get moved back a bit. Or is it? And they are going to.
Penalty is declined.
And the penalty is declined, actually, and it's going to be a 3rd down now after a fumble, apparently. So, yes, they are calling it a fumble instead of an incompletion. So, now it's going to be 3rd and 7. Here it comes, and they're going to pass it forward. Once again, Dontrell Woods. Woods gets around a defender. He gets around more defender. He goes all the way down to the 48-yard line. And that is another first down.
Great route running there from Dontrell Woods, as they as he gets a little lateral play, but just using his quick speed and agility to get around not one but 2 Francis Howell defenders as they extend the change as they're past getting ready to pass midfield here.
Yeah, here comes Cameron Lewis trying to get a run in, and he gets around a couple of defenders as able to get all the way down to the 44-yard line, as the Knights are starting to move along very quickly. This is something they haven't been able to establish much throughout this year. So hopefully this is the start of something pretty good for tonight. All right, 2nd and 4 here for the Knights. Minter in motion right now. Looks like they're going to hand it off to Darnell, and he's going to get stopped.
Darnell on the carry. John Recco on the tackle.
And that's going to be a 3rd down for the Knights. And it looks like Darnell is slow to get up.
Hopefully he'll be okay, as he's had a couple concussions this year. We'll see how he handles this year as the trainer's out on the field.
That's right. They've already lost a couple of key running backs. They've been trying to find, their guy, but unfortunately another one of them goes down in this game. It'll be interesting to see who they put in his place.
Yeah, despite Cameron Lewis leading in rushing yards, I mean, he can only do so much as he's big in reception yards this year. So we'll see who he puts in. They may go with the big guy, number 18, Braxton Adams, as he already has 1 touchdown this year, as he's more a good guy you like to put in the red zone to get that couple extra yards for whether a touchdown. But we'll see what they do here.
That's right. And one thing you mentioned too is that Cameron Lewis is leading the team in rushing yards, in receiving yards, and most of the reason why is because of the change of plays that they've been doing throughout the year, as they are now running on more of an option-based offense throughout this entire year.
Yeah, Dontrell Woods also has 2 touchdowns this year rushing, so we'll see if they go with him or they put Cameron in the starting.
Oh, my mistake. That was not Braden Darnell. That was my mistake right there. I apologize for that. It looks like it's actually number 51, Jordan Keating, the senior. Oh, looks like all that was for waste coal.
Yeah, well, as he's getting helped off by his teammates, but Braden Darnell is still in the game, so we don't know. At least the Knights offense doesn't have to make too many changes here.
Instead, they lose another man on the offensive line, and considering how that first possession went for them, they need, as much help as they can on that offensive line. 3rd and 1 now for the Knights. Play, and Paulie's going to be running forward, and he's going to get the first down to the 40-yard line now. And the Knights just keep moving the chain, something that's been very hard for them to do throughout the year.
Yeah, great creativity right there, as recognizing the defense there is quite open, and they just needed 1 yard, and they got that there. And as they continue to move the chains for another first down.
All right, 1st and 10 here, and there's going to be play action, and Scott Pauley's going to be running down the field, and he is going to get down, as he's going to get a nice gain of 6 on that play.
Offensive line's doing a nice job just creating opportunities for the running backs here, and Scott Pauley, as they just continue to move down the field here as we get right around the halfway point of the first quarter.
And indeed, making good use of Pauley's legs is something that he's been able to do all year, as he's going to hand it off to Darnell, and Darnell is going to get taken back a couple of yards. And it's now going to be a 3rd. And it's going to be a 3rd and 3 right now.
Four receivers lined up here.
Let's see if they're going to run. Let's see what's going to happen with this. And Dontrell Woods is going to get the handoff, and they're going to be all over him.
Woods on the carry.
Woods there in motion, but Howell all over that.
Loss of 2 on the play.
Expecting that. And
see what they do here, because they're out of field goal range, but punt seems kind of useless here. So, and it looks like they
are going to go for it.
Are going for it.
Let's see what they try and pull here in order to get there. There's going to be 4 wide receivers, 3 on the right side for Pauley. Here he comes, 4th and 6, rolls out to his right. Pauley goes, and he finds Cameron Lewis, and he looks like he's going to try and get in, and he's going to get it to the 30-yard line. And are they going to give it to him? Indeed they are. Indeed they are. It is going to be another first down for the Knights.
Great recognition there by Pauley. Knew the pressure was coming from the Howell defense and just quickly got out of the pocket to find Lewis there for another first down.
All right, here we go. 1st and 10 for the Knights once again. As he looks down the field, looks like a fade to Dontrell Woods, but it goes right through his hands. A little bit overthrown right there. That was a nice design right there, as Pauley's been used to a very small pass yardage throughout these games. So trying to get it a little bit downfield. Interesting play call right there.
Yeah, immediately I think Alex Smith, quarterback for professional NFL, as he again just likes to work that small game and just takes his time on the offensive side, but always finds a way to get a first down.
2nd and 10, trying to get through, and it looks like he's going to get a yard on that to avoid getting sacked in the backfield as the Vikings just concaved around the pocket. Now it's going to be a 3rd and 10.
See if they don't get anything here. We see if they bring out kicker Marshall Hines here, as this is going to be a little bit of a stretch for here. So I would not be surprised if they go for just a little 6-7 yard gain to set up 4th down.
Here it comes, and there are a couple of people, and he tries to dump it out to Lewis, and Lewis will just hop out of bounds, as that's going to be a major loss.
Doug Becker on the tackle.
Paulie was a little shaken up there, but he's up now.
And that's going to be all the way back to 39-yard line. So just like that, they go from a great position to 4th down and 20. And so now they're going to have to punt it.
Austin Patterson here lined up for the punt.
It was a nice drive for the Knights, but unfortunately getting nothing in return is something bad. It looks like they have no men in the backfield, probably expecting a fake on this play. And just like that, they're going to punt it down the field. And they're going to try and unfortunately, the ball is unable to stay in play. So now it's going to be a touchback, and the Knights and the Vikings are going to start on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, Howell taking full pressure there, just not wanting to get that fake, as Austin Patterson did a good job getting rid of that punt. Unfortunately, was able to get it in the end zone to allow a touchback.
All right, and the Vikings are going to go on to the field once again, as they're going to be in a little bit worse of a position than they were in their last possession, as they're now going to start on their own 20-yard line instead of North's.
McDaniel's working with the whole field here. See how he uses offensive utility here to get something going before the end of the first quarter here.
That's right. There's 4 minutes remaining right now. Comes 1st and 10 for him. And McDaniel's going to try and run through. But the Vikings are able to, the Knights are able to stop it from any big yardage. And this is going to be a 2nd and 9. All right, 2nd and 10 now. And he got him with the, McDaniel hit him with the quick snap. And that's going to be a free 5 yards for the Vikings. As he was able to catch, looks like it was number 20, Drake Whitehead, who jumped off sides for that. So just like that, it's going to be 2nd and 4 instead of a 2nd and 9. They tried to get him again, but this time the Knights were a little bit more vigilant. 2nd and 4 now, and it's going to be an option play right there. And it looks like Nibbo is going to go downfield, and he's going to make it to the 40-yard line. So that's a gain of 15 right there, and the Vikings are able to get the first down.
Great pitch play there by Nibbo, just to get that defense for the Knights just nice and spread out as he finds a gap to get the first down.
So he once again tries a quick snap. Looks over to the sidelines. Here it comes, and he fumbles it, and that is... And they're able to get him down. That was Josh Simmons that was jumping right onto McDaniel and make sure he was down and couldn't get back up. And just like that, the Vikings are in an even worse position. It's going to be a 2nd and 19.
This up-tempo offense here is another missed snap.
And there goes Nibbo as he finds a hole, and that's a tackle by A.Z. Anderson. to prevent further damage, as Nibbo was able to find a hole. And just like that, it's going to be a 3rd and 5 for them on that gain of 14. Not much in the passing game, surprisingly. And Nibbo, they're going to give it to him again, but he's unable to get the first down, as it's going to be a 4th and 2 now. Let's see if they're going to go for it. It's quick.
4th and 2 for the Vikings.
And it's just 2. And they are going to go for it, trying to keep the chains rolling here. And they try to do the quick snap.
This would be a big stop for the Knights here, as they just haven't got much break on defense.
There's Nibbo again. Let's see if they can get him down. And they're going to give him first down, as he's able to get to the 50-yard line.
Drake Whitehead on the tackle. Gain of 3. First down.
And that's enough for him.
Nibbo doing everything he possibly could to get those couple of yards, as McDaniel and the offense once again going up tempo.
Let's see. And they're going to hand it off again to Nibbo, trying to get it down, and he's able to get to the outside, but he gets tackled down. And that's just going to be a 2-yard gain for Nibbo. And fortunately for as much as the Vikings have been using him throughout the year, he's only been averaging 3.7 yards a carry. So, let's see, as it's going to be a pass again, and he's going to pass it, number 11. He's wide open as he dives for extra yards. And that's Jake Thomas, as he's able to get a first down right there. As they're going to move chains up to the 35-yard line.
Showing some grit there as he just dives for an extra yard here, having some fun with it here at North.
That's right. And it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Vikings. They're going to hand it off. No, they're not. They're going to pass it. And that's number 2, Dalen Dalton, as he's able to find the end zone for the touchdown. That was a good play action right there by McDaniel. 30 yards, as that's his 18th touchdown of the year. 2 tonight. And there's a flag on the play. Let's see what that's for.
Looks like there will be an unsportsmanlike conduct.
And data looks like it. And as exactly what it is, and that's going to be against the Vikings. Once again, Dalen Dalton getting his 10th touchdown of the year, as he's proved to be a favorite for McDaniel throughout this entire year.
Yeah, great speed there as he moves down the field, and just Knights defense, you could tell they're a little gassed there, as Daniel's offense just doesn't do much stopping.
And the extra point is no good once again, as Rekka is unable to reach the uprights, as now it's going to be a score of 12-0.
Be curious to see, sorry Joel, but curious to see if they continue to try attempting the field goal for an extra point, or if they go back to just going for 2, as we see Francis House Central last week on the road. They don't kick the ball an extra point, as they always go for 2, but we'll see if Francis Howe does that here, as they're 0 for 2 on extra points so far.
That's right. Rekka unable to find the ball in between the uprights, both attempts that he's had. Now let's see if the Knights will be able to move the ball back up the field like they did last attempt, before unfortunately being stopped completely, or if the Vikings are going to adapt. And they're going to get moved back from this unsportsmanlike conduct. And now they're going to have to kick it from the 25-yard line.
Nice break for North, as you can see they just haven't been doing much on the kickoff return, as that's going to give them some benefit here.
That's right, as there's going to be That's going to give them great position if they field this correctly. And here comes Rebecca.
The crowd's on their feet.
And here comes kick it off. And that's going to be a line drive kick. And right to Dontrell Woods. And Woods is going to run it. And he's going to get it to the 35-yard line. So additional 15 yards for the Knights off of the average that they've had. And it looks like you're going to see what Pauly and the Knights offense are going to be able to do this time around.
Curious to see if they continue to play short game as their main targets last possession were running back Brain Darnell, but we'll see what they do on this drive.
Right, and Dontrell Woods looks like he receives the ball, and he's going to be tackled for a loss once again. And this is going to be a 2nd and 13 as the first quarter is reaching its final minute. Second and 13 now for the Knights. And that's a missed snap. And Pauly is able to quickly recover. As now they get pushed back to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, the ball seems a little slippery as that's the third missed snap combined this game. So must be playing with some butter on that ball.
All right. Now looks like they're just going to run out the clock to end this first quarter. And so, after 1 quarter of play, the Vikings are taking the lead 12-0 over the Knights. Now, Cole, what have you seen so far in this first quarter, just in general?
Well, I really think, let's just start with the North Knights as here. They're on offense. I just think the defense they've been all over top of Scott Pauly's offense as they haven't made many shots downfield, but one thing I would like to see is just take more shots downfield. You have the speed of Dontrell Woods. We'll see if they look downfield to their slot receivers, such as Cameron Lewis and Dontrell Woods, and from just how they continue to hand it off to Nabeau, who plays running back, and Andy McDaniel's doing a great job of just spreading the ball throughout his players, and we'll see how he continues to do that as we get further into this game, and we'll see how if the Knights can really stop that on defense.
All right, and it looks like we're just about ready to restart play here. This is going to be a 3rd and 11 for the Knights. Now let's see if they're going to be able to get the chains moving. As now they are, 3rd and long once again. Let's see what happens here. As the student section is starting to get up, and looks like that's a false start, and once again a bad break for the Knights. Now it's going to be back to a 3rd and 22. And another unlucky break for the Knights to start off this quarter. All right, here we go. 3rd and 22. For receivers, and he looks like Pauly's going to go up, and he is going to get it to Dontrell Woods, but he drops it. Just like that. The Knights are going to punt it. Just like that, the possession for the Knights have ended, and unfortunately, that's not what they need right now.
Over on the Howell sideline, the cheerleaders are out, collecting money and selling raffle tickets for the Carter Fund.
Pauly there just looking to the middle of the field, trying to break up that secondary as unfortunate to see Woods with the incomplete.
That's right. Patterson in the backfield for the kick. and he kicks it down the field, and that's going to go out of bounds. Looks around the 49-yard line. And so the Knights, and so the Vikings, and start right at midfield to start off the second half.
Pretty good punt there from sophomore Austin Patterson, as the Howell offense again going to get the ball. It's good field position here, and we'll see what they do on the offensive side here as we get the beginning of the second quarter.
That's right. The offense, both of the touchdowns they've scored have been off of short passes. And here comes, they hand it off to Nibbo, and Nibbo down to the 40-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 7. Let's start this off. And one of the big problems for the Knights this year, especially on defense, has been this run. But they seem like they've contained it pretty well to start this off.
Yeah, big thing with Aiden McDaniel, he's always been known as the option play comes in.
And he gets taken down at the 25-yard line on that option play. And it's going to be a Howell North, or not Howell North, a Howell first down on that gain of 15 right there.
See, like I said, just Howell's offense is very good at moving the ball, spreading the ball among players, and just always switching up. So this defense really cannot get comfortable with a certain play.
Rolls out to his right, and that's going to be a sack right there as Josh Simmons is able to get the sack of Aiden McDaniel. It looks like there was pressure by both him and Drake Whitehead. That was great. So that was great pressure right there by the Knights to move the ball back even further, as it's going to be 2nd and 17 now after that loss of 7 on the sack. Here comes, let's see, he's going to pass it down the field. That's going to be incomplete, as he was looking for number 11, Jake Thomas, but he tripped up, and that could have been easy interception for number 13, Tyler Tolliver.
Yeah, wide receiver there just falling on his feet, and they catch a break for this game, as that could have very well been an interception, but 3rd and 17, would not be surprised if he goes downfield.
And they're looking for it, and they're going to go downfield, and that's going to be incomplete right there, as he was looking for, looks like that was number 5, Drew Shear, that he was trying to get the old Howell North connection.
Right on cue, as I said it, looking downfield, but unable to convert here.
And it looks like they're just going to go for it right now.
Yeah, I mean, with this Knights offense not doing much, I mean, it does not surprise me going for it, because not much to lose, as worst case scenario, they get the ball at the 37, still with plenty of yardage to go, if they're not able to convert.
All right, here we go, 4th and 17 right now for the Vikings, as they're going to go, and they're looking downfield, and that was broken up right there, as that was Dontre Woods that broke up the pass, as McDaniel was trying to look for Jackson Hetzel once again, and the Knights are going to regain possession right there.
This Knights crowd is coming alive, as they say, a big 4th down stop here.
All right, here we go, 1st and 10. Once again for the Knights. Let's see if they'll be able to move downfield, as they were practically stopped to start this off. 1st and 10, and they fake it to Rain Darnell, and Scott Pauley gets around a couple of defenders, and he keeps chugging along as he gets down to the 45-yard line, and he gets a 1st down.
That's enough to move the chains, and that's good for another Howell North.
That was a nice run there by Scott Pauley, as he was able to weave around defenders right there.
Showing his athleticism there.
All right, 1st and 10 once again for the Knights. And Cameron Lewis is in motion, and they're going to hand it off to Lewis, and he's going to get down to the 50-yard line, but that There's a flag on the play. Let's see who that's going to be against. That's going to be against the Knights, as that's a holding call right there. And that's going to move them back.
One thing I've noticed here through the first quarter and more is Knights, a lot of times running with 3 or 4 wide receivers, but often just hitting off to Darnell or for QB scramble. Is you got to think that Howell's eventually going to pick up on that, so we'll see if they start to spread the field more.
That's right. They've also been handing it off a lot to Cameron Lewis and Dontrell Woods. That's 2 of the leading rushers on the team. Let's see if they'll try and establish some of the deep threats in number 82, Jalen Fleming, and number 13, Tyler Tolliver. There he goes, and he's going to pass it out to Cameron Lewis, and Lewis is going to grab it, and he's going to go down the sideline to get to the 45-yard line. And as that's a gain of 10, and that is going to be a 2nd and 10 now for the Knights.
Making up for that penalty as they're starting from scratch here, 2nd 10, and good play there from the Knights to get some yards back on that penalty.
All right, here we go, 2nd and 10 for the Knights. Let's see what Scott Polly's going to be able to do here. And Dontrell Woods is going to be in motion. They're going to hand it off to Darnell. And no, that's going to be a fumble on the play, actually. And just like that, possession is given back to the Vikings, as it looks like number 46, Jacob Wildschutz, the junior, is able to get his hands over the ball. And just like that, the Vikings in very good position.
Yeah, showing the strength there on the defensive side, as Aiden McDaniel will come back for a solid field position there.
That's right. It's once again solid field position, but as we saw last time, unable to make the most out of it. Gained no points on that last possession.
Yes, indeed.
Here comes McDaniel as he slings it out, and that's going to be out to Jackson Hetzel. And he's going to be down at the 34-yard line, and that's going to be a 2nd and 2 for him.
Hetzel starting to get more reps here, as he's had 3 touchdowns this year. So I do not blame A. McDaniel to going to him in these situations.
That's right. As it looks like the Knights are focusing more towards people who have a little bit. And it looks like it's going to be to number 13, as that's going to be a tackle for the loss, as Bailey Ryan is unable to get around the Knights defense. And they're going to be moved back a little bit further, as it's going to be now a 3rd and 4. Let's see if the Knights are able to stop him again. And Nibbo is able to get through, and he's going to be stopped at the 30-yard line, but that's good enough for a 1st down. And there's a flag on the play. Let's see who that's going to be against. It's over near the Howell sideline. There's a little scuffle there. Let's see who this flag's going to be against. And it's going to be a personal foul on the defense. Just like that, another lucky break for the Vikings, as they're going to get up into the red zone now. And the student section is starting to get hyped up again, hoping that their defense can make another key stop.
Wouldn't be surprised if they break up this line here with a run here.
Because as they look back over towards the line, it's going to be a 1st and 10. And they're going to hand it off to Nibbo. And the Vikings are the Knights are right there. Actually, no, it was McDaniel who tried to make a run for it, but able to stop it. I thought it was a gain for a yard. This is going to be a 2nd and 9 now. 2nd and 9 for the Vikings. And you're going to look to pass it. And looking for Drew Shear. And Shear gets around the defender and gets into the end zone for a touchdown. As he was able to get around his defender after making that catch, making that turn over the shoulder, finding his way into the back of the end zone.
Howell scrambling here, as we'll see what they do. It looks like there's some confusion, but it looks like they are going for two, like I said.
After two missed extra points by John Redka, trying to make sure they get points on the board. Here it comes, and they're going to slide it in, and it looks like it's going to be good as they're able to sling it into Drew Shearer.
2 points, good.
As
Score is now
Shearer is able to get all 8 points
0.
for the Vikings, and now the score is going to be Francis Howell with 20, while North still with nothing on the scoreboard.
Shearer loving that end zone here in these last couple minutes as he finds his way into the 2-point conversion attempt and in the touchdown conversion.
That's right. Looks like the Knights are going to try and get something going in this next possession. That is, a couple of these possessions, they've been able to move down the field decently well. However, turnovers have just been killing them as the Vikings are able to get possession right back. Looks like Rekka is going to be back again to kick it off for the Vikings.
As we said earlier in this broadcast, Drew Shearer and McDaniel starting out with having a show here as they are back on their original high school as they started both of their first 3 years at North, or A. McDaniel 2 years, apologies. But, and they are coming out strong here.
As that's going to be a touchback for the Vikings. And the Knights are going to start at the 20-yard line once again.
We'll see how Paul and the offense do on this drive as they are as the deficit is just slowly increasing here as they're down 3 scores now, and they just need something to get going here, and we'll see what they do here on 1st and 10.
That's right. They've had a couple of good possessions where they've been able to move it down the field, but unfortunately unable to convert on those attempts. 4 receivers. Looks like you're going to call over to Lewis. And he's going to roll out to his right. And he's going to try and get around some people. And that almost intercepted by 2 people right there. The closest being Jonah Libert, trying to dive and make the interception. Looks like he was looking for Tyler Tolliver right there.
Lewis there was open midfield, but pressure is too much for Paulie to handle as he was unable to locate Lewis who was open in the midfield.
That's right, here goes, and they're going to get handed off to Dontrell Woods, and Woods is able to push his way through, and it looks like they're going to get him down at the 30-yard line, and that's going to be a first down for the Knights.
Dontrell Woods is only 5'7", but showing all of his height there on strength and speed there as he goes through the Francis defense to find the first down.
That's right. Here we go. 1st and 10 again for the Knights. And put Woods in motion again. And he's going to be looking to his right. And he's going to find Cameron Lewis in the middle, but unfortunately he drops the pass. As that's going to be a 2nd and 10 now for the Knights.
Knights here starting to get a little more confidence on the offensive side as they're starting to move downfield more, which is a key aspect if you want to have any chance of winning this game. Want to be able to move the ball downfield and take some chances, especially we get later here in the first half.
All right, 2nd and 10, pressure coming, and he tries for Jalen Fleming, but he drops it as he gets pummeled right there. It looked like that was number 22. That was Jackson Kite that was right on him.
That's why this is a rivalry. Both teams coming out with some chip on their shoulder as they showing no mercy with one another.
All right, 3rd and 10 now for the Knights. Let's see if they're going to try, if they're going to get some more action right here. Here comes, as there's, and he gets it to Lewis. And Lewis trying his way forward. Let's see if they're going to call it a first down or not.
It's going to be close. I think he has it, though.
Cameron Lewis on the reception.
They...
Gus Hetzel.
And...
Looks like they're moving the chains.
And it is going to be a first down. And once again, they move. Again, 7:04 left on the clock right now. 1st and 10 for the Knights. 4 wide receivers. And Mentor is going to be on there. And looks like there might have been a fumble.
Logan Mentor on the carry.
Oh, but they're going to call him down
Jake Thomas on the tackle.
on that. That's going to be a gain of a yard. This is going to be 2nd and 9 right now for the Knights. As Minter comes back out. 2nd and 9 right now. And they don't move him. And he almost fumbles the ball. But is able to keep possession of it. And that's going to be a sack.
Francis Howell again showing how good they can be on defense as they take down Pauly once again here.
That's right. This is going to be a 3rd and 18 now. Once again, a 3rd and very long for the Knights.
Look for Lewis or Dontrell Woods to really burst down the field using their speed as see if they can get this conversion here on 3rd down.
Here we go. 3rd and 18. And he fumbles it again. Recovered by Pauly. And once again, the ball is just slipping out of the hands of the Knights.
See, you would think it may be center's problem there, but it's happened on both sides now, and just I'm telling you, they're playing with the butter ball tonight.
Exactly, and both times they've done it. They've been relatively good snaps, but unfortunately, they've been dropped. Austin Patterson is now in the backfield to punt this away. And here he comes, and he's going to punt it down the field. And
friendly bounce there for North.
And that's going to be fielded at the Vikings 45-yard line. As once again, that offense is going to get onto the field and try and make something happen.
They've got plenty of time here, so would not be surprised if they just take their time here, and they know they have the weapons to score with just a little under 5 minutes here. And Howell's offense, this is a big possession. If they can extend this game to 4 possessions before the end of the first half.
All right. And as here comes the Vikings onto the field, it's going to be a 1st and 10. Their own 45-yard line. And they're going to hand it off to Nibbo once again. And Nibbo trying to find some room. And he gets around a couple of defenders, trying to get more yardage. And he's going to be taken down on the Vikings, or on the Knights' 46-yard line. And now it's going to be a 2nd and 2.
He worked for all 8 of those yards here, getting around Dontrell Woods before Woods finally takes him down there.
Indeed, he's able to get around a big group of guys that were just clustered in the middle. 2nd and 2. And hand it off to Nibbo once again. And Nibbo trying to find some room. Gets down to the 40-yard line, but there's a flag on the play. That's going to be a holding on the Vikings. And that play is going to be for nothing as they're going to move back.
Holding against the Vikings.
They're going to move back 10 yards. Now, instead of being right up against that first down line, they're going to have to work a bit.
As they move back to the their own 45-yard line here. Excuse me, 44.
2nd and 12. They try to get them again. Nibble moves around to the other side. He comes and looks like it might be an option play. And McDaniel's going to be rushing down. And he's going to be down at the 49-yard line. Actually, no, it's going to be the it's going to be the 50-yard line. And just like that, it's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Knights. Or for the Vikings. My mistake. And it's 4 wideouts now. And here comes, it's going to be a pass play. And he slips, and he tries to find it. And that's going to be an interception by Cameron Lewis. Lewis running down the field, trying to get good position as he brings it back to the 45-yard line. And just like that, the Knights have good position to try and get something going after that crucial mistake by Aiden McDaniel.
Yeah, Aiden McDaniel there slipped there and was able to get rid of it, but a little forced there as his footwork was just a little off there, and Cameron Lewis capitalizing 100% on that play and giving the Knights a chance to score some points as we end this half. This would be a big break for Howell North.
That's right. So that play looked like a mess from the start. With that slip by McDaniel. 1st and 10 for the Knights on the 45. Lewis in motion, and it looks like he's going to pass it down the field, and looks like it was intended for 2 people as Tyler Tolliver got his hands on it, and Dontrell Woods was looking like he was going to get the ball.
Yeah, so a little misconfusion there as the routes cross pass there, and still plenty of time for the Knights offense to get something going.
Both were very open. So let's see what happens here. It's going to be a 2nd and 10 now for the Knights. On the Howell 45-yard line. Lewis once again in motion. And Pauly is going to be running with it. And he's going to be down at the 40-yard line. As now it's going to be a 3rd and 5 for the Knights. Let's see if I can try and convert on 3rd down once again.
Yeah, big 3rd down coming here, because if they're able to move the chains, it's another chance to get within field goal range. As Marshall Hines field goal range, I think he can hit from about 40, but right now just out of that here. Let's see if Pauly and the offense can convert here on 3rd and 5.
There you go, Pauly with it. Lots of pressure, and that's going to be intercepted by the Vikings, and that's number 45, Jack Larkin, that was able to get some quick reactions there to grab that ball.
Both offenses showing that they don't want the ball as they're turning it over here again, right outside 2 minutes here, and we will see if McDaniel in the offense of Francis Howell can now convert.
6th interception for Pauly this season. For Larkin, that is his 1st interception this year.
Both secondaries for both teams showing that they're able to make plays here.
And they're trying to catch him napping there as Nibbo is able to move down the field. And he keeps going down the sideline to the 25, to the 30, to the 20 as he just keeps on his feet and inbounds as he's able to get a big gain there for the Vikings.
And that is exactly what they needed as they are able to get something going after making an unforced error there last time. And McDaniel showing no efforts to take time here as he's rolling again here with the no huddle.
20-yard line as he hands off to Nibble once again. Let's see if he'll try and get around the outside to the 10-yard line, and they're going to get him out of bounds. And it's going to be down to the 8-yard line as they're trying to catch this Knights defense napping as they keep this quick offense going. 1st and goal now for the Knights, or for the Vikings, my mistake. Give it to Nibbo once again, and Nibbo down to the 5-yard line.
Austin Patterson on the tackle. Gain of 3. Second goal.
Now it's going to be 2nd goal for the Knights. Not for the Knights. Why do I keep saying that? For the Vikings, my mistake. And there's going to be a timeout for the Knights to try and slow down this Vikings offense.
So what do you think they're going through this huddle, Joel, as looks like Howell has a little under 2 minutes. Do you think they're going to take some time, or what do you think is going to what do you think is going down in that huddle?
I think the Vikings are going to try and keep this quick offense. As that seems to be slowing down these this Knights defense. As they're trying to get more points on the board, and for the Knights, they're going to just try and keep up with that quick offense to try and stop them from getting into the end zone. If you guys are just now joining us on this live stream, welcome to the live coverage of tonight's football game of the Francis Howell North Knights as they face off against Francis Howell High School. My name is Joel Benz, alongside me Cole Sherman for the live broadcast of this game. 2nd and 5 2nd and goal for the Vikings as they're going to try and get into the end zone for the 4th time tonight. Aiden McDaniel with three passing touchdowns already. And he's going to hand it off to Nibbo. And Nibbo trying to find the end zone. And he's going to be just short. It looks like they're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Looks like another Knight is going to be down on this play. Can't see what the number is. And there's going to be 1:37 left in this half. Now it's going to be a 3rd and goal when play resumes. Right now there is a Knights defensive player down.
The Knights haven't been able to get much break on the defensive side, as just the Francis Howell Vikings offense has been continuously pounding them play after play as they're going with that fast-paced offense, and they continue to keep rolling fast-paced as Aiden McDaniel's offense keeps rolling down the field. So this is actually a little break for the defense of North to just catch a breather as we close this half with about 1:30 remaining.
That's right. And it seems like this is going to be a big break. When we reach halftime, make sure to stay tuned into the live broadcast to watch the Francis Howell North Marching Band perform their performance Wired. It looks like that was Drake Whitehead that was down on the play. As we're about to begin play once again. As the student section is starting to get a little bit hyped up right here. And it's going to be 3rd and goal for the Vikings. Let's see what they do here. And they're going to hand it off to Nebo. And he's going to be just short. And it looks like it's going to be at the half-yard line. It's going to be a 4th and goal right now, as they're able to stop him.
This is where the strength and grit of the running back, Nebo, comes in here.
And it looks like it's going to be a timeout for the Knights, as it looks like their defense wasn't in position for that. So now it's going to be a 4th and goal for the Vikings. Let's see if they'll get into the end zone for the 4th time tonight, or if the Knights will be able to stop them. Which is something that they've been able to do actually quite a lot this game.
Yeah, it's a big play here, and the Knights can come away just with the stop here. They still be 3 touchdowns down, but definitely able to come back, whether it's a 3-touchdown deficit or a 4-touchdown deficit. But we'll see how the defense here expect full pressure here from the Knights defense to get every bit chance of a stop here.
That's right, here we go. 4th and goal now for them. It looks like McDaniel is going to be up with them. I'm pretty sure they're going to try a QB sneak right here. And that's exactly what they do. They try and get in, and that is going to be a touchdown for the Vikings that McDaniel is able to rush in.
All they needed was a half of a yard, and they got that there, Joel.
That's right. And just like that, the Vikings are able to get 6 more points on the board. And they're going to go for the 2-point conversion once again.
Be curious to see how the what the Knights do on offense here this last minute. If they just need a ball or if they just.
And Nebo runs it, and that's no good. As now the score is going to be 26-0 in favor of the Francis Howell Vikings. And like you said, it is going to be very interesting to see what the Knights are going to do on offense for this final minute and 3 seconds. As once again, Cameron Lewis and Dontra Woods are going to be in the backfield.
Yeah, Howell is doing a great job of spreading the ball as they are able to score again to make it a 4-touchdown deficit for the Francis Howell North Knights. And be curious to see as we roll down to the second half, or into the first half, see what they do at the break. Both teams planning their strategies for the second half of this ball game.
That's right. Knights are going to need to try and get some points on the board. They've scored the least amount of points in the conference with 56 throughout the entire year. Cameron Lewis fields it, and he's going to get his way through, and he's going to get tackled at the 27-yard line. So let's see what they're going to do here, as the Knights are going to see what they'll be able to do with these final 57 seconds coming up for the half. Scott Pauly is still the QB, and they're gonna throw it down the field looking for Tyler Tolliver, and that's incomplete, as Tolliver was covered heavily by number 8, Julius Elliott.
Looks like that ball was underthrown just a little bit there, but I like the idea as got not much to lose here as we wrapped up the first half, but good shot there from Pauly.
That's right, 2nd and 10 now for the Knights. See what they'll be able to do here. Yeah, 2nd and 10. Woods once again, and it looks like he's going to be looking for somebody. Pressure starting to sink in as he tries to flip it, and he's going to get run into as he carries it for 3 yards right there and gets out of bounds. And that's going to be a 3rd and 7 now for the Knights.
Gain of 4, 3rd and 6 for the Knights.
See, one thing you don't want to do is give too much time for Howell to get time for McDaniel and his offense
3rd and
to
7
come
now.
out again.
Here comes Pauly. And he rolls out to his right once again. Pressure coming from his backside, and Lewis catches it into the 35-yard line. Looks like number 11, Jake Thomas, was coming up right behind him, and that's going to be a timeout for Francis Howell with 35 seconds left in this half.
It's curious to see what they do here, is if they punt the ball, or because one thing you don't want to do is if you go for it and you don't convert it, you're giving a little over 30 seconds for Howell to come back and get some more points.
As we've been able to see today, the Vikings have been able to get points quickly whenever they've had possession. And the Knights have had more of those long possessions that have unfortunately ended with nothing for them now. It's going to be a 4th and 3 now. here we go as they start the end of this timeout. And looks like
Let's hear it for your varsity cheer team.
they have Austin Patterson come out for this, and it looks like they are going to punt it. Let's see what happens here. As Patterson is out for his for another. There's no men in the backfield for the Vikings, so they're fully expecting a fake.
Expect a full-on rush here as they're going to try to take advantage of Patterson as he kind of does a soccer punt.
Here it comes, and it gets down the field and goes out of bounds with 28 seconds left and a half. There's a flag on the play. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what the call is here. It looks like let's see what this flag is for. As it looks like everybody on the field is confused. Defense is out for the Knights. And here it comes. This is going to be a false start, and it's going to be against North. As another penalty against the Knights for this game, and now it's going to be a 4th and 8 for them.
False start against the Knights. The Vikings will start from their own 40-yard line.
The Vikings here have 2 timeouts remaining, and they still have plenty of time to get down the field as they're getting a little extra time here with some confusion out on the field, giving the Howell Vikings offense just more time to get a plan here as they're going to be running the 30-second drill. See what they do here. Look for shots downfield, Joel.
That's right, will do. As they have 2 safeties in the backfield, fully getting ready for that deep pass. Here it comes, and they are going to be looking down the field. And Drew Shear had a very easy pass right there. Just drops it. Goes right through his hands. This is going to be 2nd and 10 with 24 seconds left now on the clock.
Yeah, right idea there with the catch. Would have brought him out of bounds, but unfortunate to see them.
All right, here goes once again looking down the field. And once again misses Drew Shear. This time, Aiden McDaniel just full out flubbing the throw right there.
As I was saying, continuing to get the ball downfield and trying to get out of bounds as both passes were intended to Drew Shear, but both incomplete.
And I'm starting 10 right now, and they're going to hand it off to Nebo. Unexpected for them, and he runs out of bounds. And that's going to be a 4th and 1 now with 12 seconds left.
Expect them to go for it here as worst case scenario, if they don't get it, Knights have very little time to do much here as that's exactly what they are doing as it seems A. McDaniel getting signs from the sideline here.
That's right, here we go, 4th and 3 now. And they look back over to the sideline, 12 seconds left. See what they'll try and do here. And McDaniel's going to run for it, and McDaniel finds a gap, and he gets tackled at the 35-yard line. And that's going to be another 1st down for them.
Timeout is called, and let's see if they bring out the field goal unit here. It's going to be a long one for the kicker of Howell.
And as we've seen from Rekka, unable to make both 3-point attempts there, so it's going to be really doubtful to see him come out and possibly trying to get one last attempt into the end zone for the Vikings, as they're going to try and extend their lead to 30 points.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Howell bench is doing right now, is just figuring out what they're going to do here on 4th down. Aiden McDaniel, as we've seen it as his time at North, he definitely has the arm to throw it down the field as they're at the North Knights 33-yard line. But see what they do here. watch out for receivers Dalen Dalton and Drew Shear, as looks like they're probably going to shoot one downfield and hope for the best.
That's right. 4.6 seconds left right here. Let's see what happens.
Let's go, defense!
They're going to try and stop him here. 2 men in the backfield. And here comes Simmons trying to get the sack. And they sack it there. And it looks like that was number 66 with first.
That's how we're going to end this halftime with a good confidence booster, as the fans here at Howell North are loving that finish to the first half, as taking anything positive they can get as they're down 26-0 trailing this half. Joel, what did you see this halftime, or this half, excuse me?
Well, I think a big thing is for the Knights is that they were able to move down the field. However, unfortunately, they were unable to get some points on the board, as turnovers, once again, is just a problem for them, as they had a lot of fumbled balls and balls that just ended up in Howell's possession. And the Vikings have been putting lots of opportunity on that. But the defense was able to make some good stops there on a couple of plays, but unfortunately, the Vikings just able to find the right guys to get into the end zone, with Aiden McDaniel getting 3 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, biggest thing is I think both teams are just going to come and talk about this at halftime, is just how to stop the run, as both teams using the run very effectively, as we saw Nebo really break down that Knights offense. So we'll see how both teams come out at this halftime, but meanwhile, enjoy the halftime performance brought to you by the FHN marching band,
along with performances by our FHN varsity cheer and varsity nightline. Let's see. We'll come back to you at the start of the second half in a couple of minutes.
Folks, let's welcome to the field the best band in all the land. Your Howell North Night Pride Marching Band. This year's show is entitled Wire. It'll feature the music of Frost, Electric Light Orchestra, and Kansas. Drum majors Sam Weaver and Grace Sickendick. Is your band ready? Here they go, the Night Pride Marching Band. Let's hear it. One more time for your Night Pride Marching Band. The Night Pride Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. Rob Stegeman, with assistance from John Miller, Mike Davis, Matthew Banks, Katie Myers, Nathaniel Hoyle, Kate Busby, Jason Reckes, Austin J., Emmy Harms, Hannah Novak, Patrick Slifer, Sam Dwyer, Ashley Raster, Rachel Keogh, Emily Helmick, and Emily Harden. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our Varsity Nightline Dance Team, led by seniors Captain Aubrey and juniors officers Samantha, Grace, and Emma. Their team members are Isabel, Kelsey, Nicole, Anna, Megan, Abby, Hunter, and Sarah. These ladies have worked hard preparing this jazz routine. We're excited to share it with you for your halftime entertainment. Take it away, Nightline.
It's cool and fierce, you know? So rock on with them.
That's all the kids.
Sweet.
Don't turn away from the heart of the group.
I'm doing the music in motion program. And I was like trying to hunt down that logo and incorporate it, but they're like,
Don't turn away from the heart of the group, from the way that we move. Kill the lights, we can lose. Kill the lights and look like heaven. Close your eyes, you can see me by the way that I feel. Kill the lights and touch my body. Close your eyes, you can see me by the way that I feel. Come and spin me around, let's get lost in the sound. Close your eyes, you can see me by the way that I feel. Touch my body, kill the lights tonight. From the heart of the groove, from the way that we move, kill the lights, we can lose. Kill the lights and look like heaven. Close your eyes, you can see me by the way that I feel. Kill the lights and touch my body. Close your eyes, you can see me by the way that I feel. Come and spin me around, let's get lost in the sound. Close your eyes, you can see me by the way that I feel. Touch my body, kill the lights tonight.
Let's hear it again for Varsity Nightline. Now, if you would please, welcome to the field, your varsity cheer team. hear again for varsity cheer. If you could please get your attention out to the 50-yard line. Tonight, the Francis Howell North football team is donating to the Henderson Elementary Bare Necessities program. Bare Necessities closes the gap between those that have much and those that have nothing by providing food to students in need. Coach Bevel is an alumni of Henderson Elementary, and his son Michael is a current student. Early in the year, he knew he wanted to do more to get the team more involved in the community, and after being back to Henderson and involved with the school, he heard about this program and knew this is where he wanted to focus his efforts. The Francis Howell North football team hosted a 5K on August 18th, where a portion of the proceeds were donated to this charity. It was a lot of work and took a village to complete, but we're happy to say that tonight the Francis Howell North football team is donating $250 to the Bare Necessities program. Thank you, Francis Howell North football team, and thank you, Bare Necessities, for all you do for our community.
Welcome back to Francis Howell North High School as we are joined here with your co-announcer Cole Sherman along with Joel Bennett here as we had a great halftime performance including performances from our cheerleading squad, Nightline, and our marching band. We are excited to get this second half rolling. Joel Bennett, tell me what are some things you are looking forward to see this half?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Vikings do in order to put more pressure onto the Knights, as they've been sort of forcing them to speed up their offense or speed up their defense, while the Knights' defense are used to a relatively slow, steady offense. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they put pressure, how the Vikings' offense puts pressure on the defense. And for the Knights, it's going to be interesting to see if they are able to protect the ball further than they have. They've committed 2 turnovers already throughout this game, and also to see if they can take advantage of moving down the field and getting into the end zone, as they've been able to create some great possessions throughout this game, but unfortunately have been unable to convert for some points on the board.
Yes, indeed. One thing I've noticed that Francis Howell they've been spreading the ball lately with A. McDaniel has spread to 6 receivers, all with 1 reception. However, they've scored 26 points this time. Joel, tell me, what are some things that the Knights defense needs to do to really get an early jump on the fact that the Howell offense is spreading that ball? What are some things that the Knights need to do to stop that?
Well, I think there's a combination of two things that they need to do. First thing they need to do is they need to stop this rushing offense. It's been a huge problem for the Knights throughout this entire year, giving up too many rushing yards, and this is seeming to be the case as Gideon Nibo, number 1, their main running back, has already got 124 yards against the Knights defense. That's a lot. But along with this defense, they just need to make, with this passing defense, they need to make sure they're covering all their receivers and make sure they don't give them any wiggle room. Because as we can see, Aiden McDaniel has a huge arsenal of weapons, as he's already been able to find 3 of his receivers to get into the back of the end zone for a touchdown, and even for a 2-point conversion in Andrew Shear. So it's going to be interesting what the Knights are going to be able to do with them.
Yes, as we are getting ready to open up this second half here at Howell North, as it's a great night for some football. We've got a pink out game here. Let's just talk about a little bit of the Howell North defense. As we saw in this first half, that the big thing is the Knights have been able to stop the run game, but not necessarily the passing game.
That's right. Well, it's been a struggle for both of them, so it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do to try and stop it this half.
And here we go. Fans are on their feet as we are underway in this second half, as there's a little squid kick here. 13 for Francis Howell. He takes it down the field to the 40-yard line, as it's a great start for the Francis Howell Vikings as they move down the field with great field position.
That was a great run there by number 13, Bailey Riley, as he was able to find the hole in that kick return team and taking advantage of that squib kick, as it seems like Marshall Hines was trying to take advantage of this Howell return team, as they got their first taste of a kickoff this entire game.
And here it is, the Francis Howell Vikings offense is on the field here, led by quarterback Aiden McDaniel here, as they come from the 37-yard line. The handoff to Bo as he gets the first down there.
Nebo on the carry.
With Nebo on the carry for a gain of 10 yards.
And it looks like there's another man down on the field. That has seemed to be a problem for the Knights as well, as they had two injuries in the first half. One with being their starting offensive lineman, Jordan Keating, and another with Drake Whitehead. But once again, with Gideon Nebo, number 1, once again, getting his way through the defense and just finding space.
Yes, Gideon Nebo has led the team with 124 yards in this first half and showing no reason to stop here, as again he pounds the Francis Howell North defense, as we hope the Francis Howell North player on the field is okay here.
Now talking again about Gideon Nebo, now getting his first reception touchdown this year, of the year, to put the first points on the board for the Vikings. But along with that, he's already had over 300 yards rushing this year, 6 touchdowns, 6 of them the rushes that he's had, finding the end zone. So he's been a fairly productive back for the Vikings this year.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how Gideon Nebo continues to break this Knights defense, as right now everyone is just hoping that the Knights player gets helped up, as he's still struggling as he's on the field still.
I think it might once again be Drake Whitehead down, as he was down for a bit to end the first half, but he might have gotten back into the play. And let's see if looks like they're going to be calling the going to be calling in the golf cart here to carry this player over to the ambulance.
We just hope him for the best recovery, as it's always very sad to see, as it looks like the players are starting to get back up into the huddle.
It seems like this is about 11:44 left in this first half. Just like that, the man is still on. Guy's still on the ground. Still have no idea who this is. If you guys are just now joining us, once again, this is 11:44 left in this third quarter. This is Joel Bennett alongside Cole Sherman here, bringing you the live broadcast tonight's game of the Francis Howell North Knights against the Francis Howell Vikings, as the Vikings lead so far 26-0. This looks like it's something very serious, as the ambulance looks like it's going to make an appearance on the field.
It looks like he'll be carted off here as a trainer, just helping him up here.
Oh, it looks like they're gonna bring the ambulance onto the field to get this guy to the hospital as quick as they can.
It's just not a good way to start off this second half here, as you just hate to see a player go down in this game, and we'll just hope for the best recovery, and we'll see what the Knights do to help overcome this this injury on the defensive side.
That's right. The defense already starting to struggle a bit, as we've seen so far, just in this small bit that we've had in the third quarter, but also from the end of the second quarter, we've been able to see that the Knights have started to struggle, and with this injury right here, it's not a good start for them as well. We just hope the best for this Knights player.
So, Joel, as we were talking about it, A. McDaniel already has 3 touchdowns this in the first half with 82 yards passing. How do you think this Knights offense really needs to just kind of bounce back and just find a stopping to Aiden McDaniel, as he's on a roll so far?
Well, the Knights have been able to kind of limit McDaniel with his passes. Like you said, there's only been 6 receptions this game by the Knights, or by a Viking, and already with an interception in this game. It's very interesting to see, as they are going to bring a stretcher onto the field. This is one of the more serious injuries that we've had here at Francis Howell North.
See, it's always just sad to see when you have someone go down like that. Just kind of just takes the energy out of the crowd, and as everyone just can only just hope that he makes a good recovery. But we'll see. We just hope for the best, and both teams showing their respect as they kneel the sidelines.
Absolutely. Let's see. Hopefully the Knights will have good spirits still after this big injury.
Yeah, as we said, there's only, like we were talking about before the halftime, they only have 26 points. I mean, it's not looking too hot so far, but Joel, if there's something that the North Knights need to do to really just find their way back into this game, what do you think it can be? I mean, we've seen Scott Pauley needs to continue to throw the ball down the field, but how do you think the Knights offense can really bounce back from this?
In all honesty, it's keeping possession of the ball. They've already had too many turnovers in this game, with already a couple of loose balls throughout this game, and plus also with they need to have just keep good possession, as we've already had 1 fumble lost by the Knights, and plus also that interception, which is actually right after the interception made by Aiden McDaniel. That's another thing that they need to do. They need to jump on the opportunities that they get, the breaks that they have, because they haven't been able to do that. And as you can see, it's really affected their game, as now they're down by 26 points.
Yes, because when you have because when you just have the ball more, it's just there's a better chance that you're going to be able to just get things going, and knowing that you can control the outcome of the game when you have the ball, you're able to just kind of put your own tempo to it. As you saw, A. McDaniel's offense really works on that fast tempo, working the defense, and they continue to really put the pressure on the Knights defense. So one thing I want to see this second half is just being able for the Knights offense led by Scott Pauley, just being able to set the own pace and knowing that you're not going to win this game without taking shots, and it'll be interesting to see how they really come out of this game and see, like, they may not get a win. We know that, but the biggest thing is just having confidence for the end of the game and just leading that can go into the next game and without the season, as there's still a couple games left this season.
That's right. The next game that they play, they are going to be facing off against Troy Buchanan here at home, and that is going to be at 7 p.m. here at Francis Howell North. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here, as Troy is tied with Howell for the lead for this Gateway Conference.
Yeah, GAC South has some strong teams in it. Like we said, the conference, Howell High and Troy both tied for 4 and 2. But it'll be interesting to see how they take care of business against Troy, because as we know, Francis Howell took down Troy early this season. So we'll see how the Knights come back in this game. And one thing we want to look out for is quarterback Patrick Coaster, as he's out with a concussion tonight. And we'll see if he comes back and see his status by the time next week on Friday, as we always hope that he is able to come back and get this Knights offense going again.
That's right. It looks like they're about to get him up onto the stretcher. They're tying him up to make sure that he's safe and secure as they transport him over to the hospital.
So one thing, let's just talk about this real quick, Joel. We've had, when the Howell has been very good at being able to score, but one thing I've noticed is they just haven't been able to really convert, as we know, on field goal attempts. Field goal attempts, how big do you think being able to convert on field goals is towards a game's outcome? I mean, not necessarily this week, as it's still a pretty comfortable lead for them, but just think about it, big games, like, and going for 2 points always isn't going to work, because after a couple of drives, it's going to be pretty easy to counter that. What do you think? How do you think Howell can really take from that, and how do you think other teams really react to that?
Well, I don't think it's just, getting that extra point after you scored a touchdown. It's also being close and trying to get 3 extra points. You're going for a major risk for going for a 4th down in the red zone. You can either come out with points or be so close yet get nothing for it. So it's something really big that the Vikings have, and it is personally a problem for them. And I feel like it might affect them down the road in a tight situation, especially if they're unable to convert on 4th downs instead of just kicking the field goal.
Yeah, the Knights are 3 for 10 on 3rd down conversions, and on 4th down conversions, they've only gone for 1, but they're successful. So as he gets carted onto the field, as both teams are starting to stand up and get moving here, as we just hope for the best recovery.
And I believe that it is indeed, the person on the stretcher is indeed the junior number 20, Drake Whitehead, unfortunately. So it's unfortunate for the junior. We hope for him a safe and speedy recovery.
Yes, as both teams are going to their own end zones just to get things situated here, as he's getting carted off the field, as the crowd is giving him a nice farewell. and we just hope for the best as both teams gathering here, getting things set for the remainder of this game.
So it looks like they're actually going to start warming up once again after having such a long break in between, waiting to see how he will recover. So when we get started back up, the ball is going to be on the 25-yard line, on the Knights' 25-yard line for the Howell Vikings, as they're going to try and find the end zone for the 5th time in this game.
Yes, we'll see how the Knights defense comes out of that. We'll see if the Knights safety, AZ Anderson, can continue his interception rate, as he already has 2 this season. So we'll be curious to see how McDaniel's offense continues to really just pound this defense. And it'll be curious to see as both teams are warming up, and as we have 11 minutes and 44 seconds left in the second half. Joel, we've talked about it, we've said it. Is there any chance of a comeback?
Well, never say never in this game. That's one thing that we've learned over the years. The fact is, the Knights do have a chance to come back. The question is, are they going to be able to convert? The Knights have the lowest amount of points this entire year, only scoring 53 points throughout this season. So if they're going to need to go on a point surge now will be the time for them. They're going to need to convert on every single opportunity that they get, and the defense needs to make sure that they shut down this red-hot Vikings offense.
Yes, as they have only had 20 points as their highest this year, and we'll see how the North Knights can really take a surge in the second half to put some points on the board here.
So Scott Polley really needs to find the end zone, as he's had no touchdowns this entire year, even through 5 starts. He only has 6 interceptions. The only thing that he has added to his name is 6 interceptions. Not really a good thing to have, especially for a junior year.
Yeah, we'll see how he can really take advantage of this time as being a quarterback, as the defense of Francis Howell has been sharp, leading as we have Jake Thomas for Francis Howell Vikings leading in sacks with 2 so far this game, and we'll see if him and his other linebackers can continue to put pressure on Pauly, as Pauly really have not thrown the ball over like the 10 yards and really hasn't become successful when he's thrown deep. So hopefully as a junior he's getting this time. We'll be curious to see if he can really throw down the field and get his confidence back, as we are getting back to football, everyone. We have the Francis Howell North Knights, versus the Francis Howell Vikings here. And if you're just joining us, we just came off an injury delay, but Drake Whitehead, and we wish him the best of luck, as we have 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Here we go. Here comes the handoff to Nebo, as he gets through, as there's a flag thrown here, but he gets the 9 yards on the carry.
Just powering his way through the defense once again.
Nebo is not showing any signs of stopping, just breaking through his defense once again.
And it looks like a holding call against the offense, so that run was for nothing. So they're going to get pushed back, and now it's going to be a 1st and 20.
Once again, another break for the Knights here. Now the Francis Howell Vikings are facing a 1st and 20 from the 35-yard line here. 4 slot receivers. Daniel looks. Pass is complete to Nebo, as he gets right around 6 yards on him. Excuse me, that is Dalen Dalton on the reception.
Dalen Dalton getting his 2nd catch of the day. This one not as productive as the first catch, as he was able to get 35 yards on his first one and get into the end zone. But another speeded up offense here.
Nebo on the carries, gets around 3 defenders just to get himself right on the line of scrimmage there. A lot of left to right movement, but couldn't get much yards on that play, Joel.
Trying to weave his way around the defense, but unfortunately unable to find that gap that he's been able to find in some of the rushes he's had. Now that Vikings have a 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10, McDaniel from the snap. Pass is complete to Nebo. First down as he gets now to the 10-yard line. Nebo once again contributing huge amount to this offense as they move the chains for another Vikings first down.
That's right. McDaniel was able to look down the field, recognize that none of his receivers were open, and just dump it off to Nebo for a nice gain.
Flag on the play.
As there seems to be a flag on the play here.
And McDaniel, once again, is able to catch the Knights with that quick call, or that quick fake for the ball.
1st and 5 from the
and now it's going to be a 1st and 5 for the Vikings.
That's another offside penalty for Howell North, as McDaniel just finding ways to just get free yards here. As the ball will now be on the 9-yard line. The snap here, the flick off to one Nebo, and he's not able to get many yards on that carry. McDaniel able to get that ball before getting cracked, but Nebo still able to get only 2 yards on that play.
Josh Simmons once again staying on them, able to go in between McDaniel and Nebo and try and cover
2nd and 5. He just darts it. 11 to Jake Thomas as he finds his way into the end zone for another Vikings touchdown.
Just able to fight his way into the end zone on that quick screen right there to him, as McDaniel is able to get his 4th touchdown pass of the day. This time finding Jake Thomas. That's his 4th different receiver that's gotten a touchdown off of him today.
Jake Thomas gets his 1st touchdown reception of the year here, as the Vikings are deciding to kick the extra point here after missing the first 2. He gives it up, and it's good. That's his first field goal conversion here, as the Vikings extend their lead 32-0, Joel. Once again, the Vikings and Aiden McDaniel just showing no signs of stopping here. Let's see how the Knights offense really can come back here.
That's right. Let's see what the Knights will be able to do on their first possession of this second half. We've been able to see that they can move the ball down the field. Question is, will they keep possession long enough to get their way into the end zone?
Once again, we have Cameron Lewis and Dontrell Woods taking this kick back here as the Vikings are getting ready to kick this ball off. We have 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter as Francis Howell Vikings lead 33-0.
And here comes Recca once again, or Recca with the kickoff once again.
See how the Knights can take it from the kickoff return. See if they can get any yards here. It's a short kick up. As it's returned, that's Woods there. He tries to get around right at the 27-yard line there. Able to get a couple yards, weaving through 2 Francis Howell defenders.
Trying to, juke the defenders, but unfortunately, the way he juked, there were 3 other defenders right there. So that was unfortunate for Dontrell.
Let's see what Scott Pauly can do coming out of this halftime, as it's his first offensive drive here this half. There's 4 wide receivers set here. The snap, he looks, that's incomplete pass.
It looked like Jake Thomas, number 11, got his hand on it to make that spiral a little bit wobbly, and in result, Cameron Lewis unable to get full possession of the ball.
Here's 2nd and 10, again with 5 receivers out here. As the motion comes, Hey, QB sneak here as he holds for 3 yards there.
Scott Pauly on the carry. Jack
Pauly
Martin on
once
the tackle.
again trying to create his own offensive plays there, as he's unfortunately only going to get a game of 4 there, but
And the thing about Polly is that as he was growing up through this football program, he was actually originally a wide receiver. So they're trying to use the legs that he's gotten as a wide receiver and try and get him in the rushing game.
as there's a 3rd and 6 here. QB holds it. And it's a reverse play as number 21, Dontrell Woods, is able to sneak down the field, but unfortunately does not get the first down.
It was a nice attempt there by the Knights, trying to pull a little bit of trickery.
He tricked me too, Joel.
But unfortunately, it didn't trick the people that they needed to. The
Yes.
Vikings.
Looks like Patterson's back to take this punt as another stop from the Howell Vikings here on defense, as McDaniel and his offense are once again going to get this ball with relatively good field position, as punt returner is only at the 40-yard line here.
Looks like Scott Paul, and that's a
miss there. Patterson just has to fall on it at his own 6-yard line.
That's horrible position. That's a really bad situation for the Knights. It's not the Vikings are on the Knights 6-yard line.
Yeah, and the Vikings right here, simple as this, they're going to hand it off to Nebo, and I would not be surprised if Howell just comes out giving it to their main running back, Gideon Nebo, to put this game into an even more deficit here. Here we go with 8:41 here. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line as the Knights defense jumps offsides once again.
Offsides against the Knights.
And just like that, now it's going to be on their own 3-yard line. So makes it even tougher for the Knights to try and stop them.
Once again, the Howell Vikings just getting some more free yards.
Let's see what happens here.
So now they're facing a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line here. Daniel fakes the pass. Nebo up to the 2-yard line.
Able to stop the run game right there.
Logan Minter on the
They
tackle.
get pushed back, actually, back to the 5-yard line. So
Once again with the no-huddle offense here. 2nd down here. Daniel snaps it, tries to break away, but the Knights defense is
McDaniel
all
on the
over
carry.
that one.
Robbie O'Loughlin on the tackle.
Robbie
Just like
O'Loughlin
that.
on the tackle.
just like that, they're able to stop them once again with the rush play. So maybe the Knights can get out of this with
3rd and goal.
very minimum damage.
Yes, as they're facing a 3rd goal here, so let's see what the Vikings offense does here on 3rd down. Aiden takes the snap, hands it to Nebo out on the side as he's tackled out of bounds right at the 3-yard line. And once again, they're going to face 4th and 3, Joel. What do you think they're going to do here?
Austin Patterson on the tackle.
Very safe and
4th and
simple.
goal.
They're going to try and get that. Oh, nope, never mind. They're going to give it to Rekka. They kick a field goal.
They just want the points here as they're coming out here, as Rekka's getting ready to take this kick.
Let's see if he's going to be able to make this one, as he's only made one field goal today.
Rekka with the kick, and that is low, and that's going to be good for the Vikings. As that's another 3 points there for the Vikings, as once again they come out with points.
That was very close to being blocked by the Knights.
36. Howell North 0.
And they're able to extend the lead. So now the Vikings have 36 points, while the Knights still unable to find any points.
As we reach the 7-minute marker here in the 3rd quarter, the Knights have yet to score. Joel, what do you think's the biggest thing if they want to score at all? I mean, what do they have to do?
I can keep telling. they need to keep possession. That's the one thing that they need to do. They need to keep possession and keep moving the ball down the field. It's something they've shown they've been able to do, but unfortunately they can't piece the two of them together from all of their possessions and find their way
John Reck
into
to
the
kick.
end zone.
Lewis and Woods back to receive.
As here comes John Recca once again for kickoff.
With Lewis and Dontrell Woods in the backfield, as Recca is getting ready to kick off, and the student section's on their feet despite the 36-point deficit. And the kick is up, and it's a high and short one here. So it looks like the ball bounces, and Howell is going to jump on that ball at the 20-yard line. That is just unfortunate to see.
And they give it to Howell.
And Howell is going to get the ball once again.
That ball took such a weird bounce, and that just went straight towards the Vikings player right there. And they took a big opportunity with that one. I just jumped on it. And just like that, they're on the 21-yard line.
As here, Aiden McDaniel has the ball once again here on the 20-yard, the snap. He looks to throw, and the ball is deflected off of, that looks to be Knight's defender. And he's unable to come up with the play, almost intercepted there.
That was Cameron Lewis right there.
Cameron
Almost got his second interception of the game as he was looking for Dalton on that, but it just got off of his hands.
McDaniel out with the pass.
McDaniel pass complete to Dalton.
And that is complete to Dalen Dalton as he reaches the 15-yard line. McDaniel once again keeping the up-tempo offense. And Dalen Dalton looks out to be on the sideline as he crashes to the sideline. We hope he's okay. They are dropping like flies here as we are at 3rd and 5.
All right, here we go. Let's see if the Knights are able to stop them once again in the
3rd and 8. McDaniel snaps back. He looks to the throw, and it is complete. And it is caught to out of bounds right at the 4-yard line.
Once again, finding Drew Shear, the old connection that's been building up for the past 4 years. It really helps when you have the same quarterback.
McDaniel, staying no time, high snap, hands it to Nebo as he rushes in for the touchdown. A high snap there, but still, Francis Howell is able to score again.
It looks like there's a timeout on the play.
And another Knights defender is down. They are dropping like flies.
Absolutely, they are. Looks like that's number 56 out there on the ground. That is Aaron Okello, the sophomore. And now isn't able to get up.
So Joel, can you break down that play for me? As high snap there, but Gideon Nebo once again was able to find the end zone. What did you see there?
Very simple. The offensive line was able to create a hole, and Nebo was able to just weave his way right through for a second touchdown of the game.
It looks like the trainer's out here helping out the Aaron O'Keller there, as we hope he's okay, as the Howell Vikings strike once again as they lead 42-0 here in the 3rd quarter.
Unfortunately for the Knights, the Vikings have kept their mentality of continuously attacking them with that high-paced offense, and that's just continuing to tire out this Knights defense. And unfortunately, that's been this case all season, as the rushers just keep getting in the heads of this Knights defense, and as a result, they keep on having magnificent games.
Okello is still down for the Knights as he's played a big part of this line as he swings on. He plays for the offensive side and the defensive line as another key to the line as we just hope he's okay as looks like the players are coming back up, which is always a good sign, which means he should be okay, Joel.
That's right, indeed. We're probably going to be looking for people to help him off of the field so that he doesn't support the leg that he has injured, whichever one that is. And it looks like Okello will be getting off. It might possibly be the knee, possibly his left knee, actually. So let's hope he has a good recovery as well. Once again, another big injury as as earlier in this game you had Jordan Keating go out with a right knee injury. Drake Whitehead had to be carted off of the field into the ambulance, heading to the hospital right now. And now Aaron Okello, who looks like he has injured his left leg.
Yeah, another thing to watch for is when, as the Vikings were driving down the field, Dalen Dalton, number 2, came off the field with it. It looked like to be an ankle injury.
That's right, and it looks like they're going to give Rekka another chance to get the kick. He's made the pass too after not being able to make the first two he's made.
And the whistle is blown here.
Flag on the play.
There's a flag. And it looks like that's going to be a false start,
Against the Vikings.
which just makes this just an even more difficult kick for Rekka here. But it looks like they will still go for it, as it is well within his range.
And also just keeps extending the game. As Rekka is going to...
Knights looking for a block here, as these last couple kicks have been pretty low. Here comes the snap. Rekka with the kick, it's up. And it's good. Rekka converting, getting his confidence back as he gets another extra point attempt. That is good.
Francis Howell 43.
And now it's going to be Francis Howell, 43 points, while the Knights have 0. And unfortunately, this has been this has unfortunately been a consistent thing for the Knights. Consistently losing by over 30 points. It's been kind of a problem, and we hope that the Knights will be able to go past this year and hopefully build off of this experience to help build for the future.
Yeah, like we said, this team's young, and you just got to give them time. If losing a lot of key players to transfers, such as Eddie McDaniel and Drew Shear, but it'll be interesting to see how the program develops within the next couple of years as younger players start to develop, as we are getting ready for kickoff, as Rekka is getting ready to kick off.
John Rekka to kick off.
That kick is up, and that's going to be Cameron Lewis with the catch. As he is scrambling. Excuse me, that looks like it's Dontrell Woods.
Cameron Lewis on the carry, on the return.
Excuse me, that is Cameron Lewis.
Charlton Watson Jr. on the tackle.
And now let's see if the Knights will get something going on this, as the first possession of this game, or of this half, they got one first down, but unfortunately that was it.
And here we go, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line here. Pauly looks, he completes it as he goes out of bounds, or excuse me, he stays in bounds as the clock keeps running. That is a 2-yard reception there from Cameron Lewis.
Once again, trying to get the screen plays going, as in the first half, that's where they got their biggest receptions.
So it looks to be right about 2nd and 9 here. motion as he scrambles, as he's tackled by number 30 at the 35-yard line. Brain Darnell with the carry as he got about 2 yards on that play.
So it's now going to be a 3rd and 6 for the Knights to see if they're going to be able to convert on this.
Look for a down the field throw here as they need something, as this defense is all over the run game here. 3rd and 6.
Here, there, an option play right here for a man in motion right here.
Motion here from Lewis. Lewis takes the ball as he makes a move, another move as he gets to the 38-yard line for a pickup of 3. It's a nice creative play there, Joel, but unfortunately unable to get the first down.
And it looks like they're going to stay out there.
You got nothing to lose this late in the game.
When you're losing by as much as they are, you might as well take as much advantage as they can.
Here comes 4th down. The snap. Pauly keeps it, and he's going to get nothing on that as the defense was all over that, and that is a turnover on downs.
Once again, unable to get anything done. Oh, I believe they thought it was a 3rd down.
Yeah, a little confusion there. You have to wonder when you're down by that much, and it's 4th and 5. Why you don't take a shot down the field or at least get something going, whether it's to Lewis or Dontrell Woods, but Pauly keeps it and unable to convert for the 1st down.
All right, it's going to be a 1st down for the Vikings here. And it looks like they've taken Aiden McDaniel out of the game. They're going to start at number 15 now.
That's Aiden Montgomery here as he hands it to Nebo. As he rushes down, as he keeps going, as he gets right around the 31-yard line.
That isn't even Nebo. That's number 33. That's James Canal. As they're just going to be using their 2nd team instead of and resting their starters, as they've done all they can to get the 43 points.
Montgomery here the snap. Here comes the run here out to Cornell again.
Cannell on the carry.
Cannell was able to convert for about 2 yards on that play.
I mean, this move that the Vikings are making makes perfect sense. I mean, it may be the 3rd quarter, but they're leading by 43 points. I'm sure they're not scared about any big comeback by the Knights within those final 12 minutes.
And there's a flag on the play. That'll be a false start on the Howell Vikings as we are facing a 1st and 15 now.
Here we go once again. It's going to be 2nd and 15 now.
Here comes Montgomery looking as he takes it, and he's going to be sacked.
Montgomery on the carry. Zach Kester on the tackle.
Looks like that was Zach Kester who was making the Zach on that. We're going to face a 3rd down now. As the 3rd quarter actually comes to an end, Francis Howell has just straight up ran away with it, as they are now leading 43-0 over the Knights.
Yes, Joel, as you said it, the Knights are just struggling in offense here as, once again, the Vikings are taking away with another big lead here as they are just really showing their dominance here. It's pink out night here as, unfortunately, the Knights aren't going to be able to score too many points here, but you just hope to see that they're going to come out of this game just maybe with a little of a confidence booster.
Well, unfortunately for them, they've lost so many key players. Jordan Keating, Aaron Okello, and especially Drake Whitehead. 3 major injuries, and unfortunately, I believe
Folks, if you could
that
get
just
your tickets out
took it
for the raffle,
out of them
we'll read off the number.
to keep it going.
as we get underway for the fourth quarter here.
Winning ticket number 1000882. If you would go to the concession
So
stand
as the Vikings
for
are
your
coming
gift
out
card.
here, it's
Folks, I
curious
wanna
to
thank
see
everyone.
how
We raised
this second string offense
$565
comes out as they are continuing to put on
to
a
help
show
out
here, and we'll see
with
if the Knights
Carter.
defense can start here.
Indeed, let's see what happens here.
Here comes third down. That's James Cannell on the run as he gets down to the 10-yard line, to the 5. And it looks like he's going to be pushed out right at the 2-yard line there. The great run by James Cannell. Excuse me, Cannell.
That was a nice run there as he was able to find the outside, breaking off defenders and almost finding the end zone right there.
Making his argument on why he should be in the lineup more as he gets a good run there for first and goal here. Here comes first and goal here. Three receivers lined up. As 33 is on the run, that's James Cannell again as he's down right at the 5-yard line. Knights all over it there.
That's right. They're able to get past the offensive
Cannell
line
on the carry.
and stop him before he's able to make a break into the end zone.
Second goal from the 6.
Now the Vikings will be facing second and goal from the 6-yard line as Montgomery waits the play call from the sideline here. Here comes second and goal here. Quarterback keeps it. Montgomery scrambling as he looks to cut in. As he cuts in right at the 2-yard line. As the Knights are all over him there. As
Montgomery on the carry.
there seems to be a flag after the play.
On the tackle.
The Knights able to stop him from getting into the end zone. So another lucky break for him. Might be against the Knights.
As the referees are discussing this flag that was thrown on the field here. If this play holds, it will be, they will have the ball at around the 2-yard line here.
Unsportsmanlike against the Knights.
That's going to be an unsportsmanlike on Francis Howell North. It seems to me that came after the play as players just, you can really feel the frustration coming in as they continue to struggle here, down 43 points. But you just have to keep your cool late in the game, even if it's a blowout.
That's right, and it especially sucks considering how many penalties the Knights have had against them, and that's been another reason that the score is how it is right now. It's going to be third down for the Vikings. Let's see what happens here.
As they're figuring out where the ball will go here, as here comes third and goal. See what Montgomery does here. Sets up. He gives it to 33, James Cannell, and that's another touchdown for your Francis Howell Vikings. As they score again here, and they are running away with it.
Indeed they are. Unfortunately, it's just taking the life out of the crowd. And unfortunately, this just sums up the season for the Knights. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Yes, as Rekka's coming out for the extra point here, and as you said, Joel, the season hasn't gone great, but I think if there's one thing you take out of it, it's just experience for these young players as the kick is up, and that kick is going to be good. As they have put it to a 50-point lead here as we reach the 9-minute mark of this fourth quarter. Knights offense is going to get the ball again. We will see if they start to get, if they keep their starters in, or if they just hand over the ball to quarterback Austin Patterson, as we have seen him get some reps late in games when they're down by a lot of points. We'll see what they do here.
That's right. I feel like they will end up sticking with that second team right there. At this point, with such a big lead, there would be no reason to start McDaniel or Nebo back up again to try and risk another injury. As the injury bug has been very common here.
Yeah, physical trainers are getting her work tonight.
Indeed she is. Here comes, oh, that isn't even Rekka. They even changed the kicker now, apparently. Number 35, Alex Pipes now.
Here comes Alex Pipes, sophomore, as he kicks in. That ball is going to be out of bounds.
Alex Pipes is the kicker. Ball goes out of bounds.
Alex Pipes coming in here at kicker, and it looks like he's going to
The Knights will start from
start
their own
off
35-yard
giving
line.
the North Knights the ball. And I believe it's the 35-yard line.
After that penalty of kicking it out of bounds, the Knights get to move up a bit, and it looks like they're taking Scott Polly out of the game, and they are going to be starting the former Viking, Austin Patterson.
As I said it right on cue, Austin Patterson comes back at quarterback here. The motion player, here he comes. As that's a quarterback sneak, as he just gets absolutely pummeled here as he gets taken back all the way to the 29-yard line.
Yep,
Darius
the
Bernard
Vikings
with the
just
tackle.
tore through that offensive line and just stopped Patterson straight in his tracks. Nothing he could have done on that one.
That sets up another 2nd and 10.
That's right.
Patterson hands it off as he gets to the 41-yard line. That will be number, looks like it's number 25, Braden Salter.
That was Braden Darnell there. And now it's going to be a 3rd down for them.
Here comes 3rd and 5. Darnell in the backfield. Patterson looks to throw. He completes it to Woods as Woods gets to the 50-yard line and more as he's down at the 45-yard line. As this crowd is getting some life in them back as John Charles Woods moves the chains for another Francis Howell North 1st down.
Exactly. Let's see how they'll be able to keep moving down the field. For the first time in a long time, Knights finally get a 1st down.
Here comes Patterson. Oh, that's a ball, but the whistle is blown as there seems to be
Flag on the play.
a flag on the play.
A lucky break for the Knights right there.
As the ball was missnapped again.
Offsides
And it looked like that was
against the Vikings.
It's going to be an offsides there on the Vikings, giving some free yards to Howell North as they can get anything they want.
You saw right there, James Canole was grabbing it and just looked like he had an open field for a return for a touchdown right there.
This sets up 1st and 5 here from the 47-yard line. Woods in motion. Patterson looks as he completes the throw as he is down to 1st down at the 29-yard line.
Finding another quick pass to Cameron Lewis.
Cameron Lewis.
And once again, they move the chains.
That'll move the chains and good for another Howell North.
Cameron Lewis is finding more opportunities as he starts to develop as a junior as he continues to work this defense tonight.
Here we
This
go.
is 1st and 10 here. Here comes the motion in. Patterson with the trick play. That goes to John Charles Woods as he tries to make a move, but unfortunately he's down at the 29-yard line. But there's a flag on the play.
Looks like it might be against the. Looks like it's going to be a face mat call. And it is, and it's going to be against the Vikings, so that's an extra 15 yards right there.
Once again, the Vikings continue to be making these play calls, or these penalties, excuse me, and the Knights will just gradually be taking these yards as we reach 4:42 in this game. As
let's see if Patterson will be able to find his way into the end zone.
1st and 10 from the 15. Patterson back. He looks to the pass, and that pass is incomplete.
Pass intended for Cameron Lewis, incomplete.
That ball was intended to Cameron Lewis once again, but was unable to convert.
Lewis was wide open on that. If he was able to get his hands on the ball, North might have had his first points of the game.
Still looking pretty promising as we get 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line.
There's only 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in this game right now.
Here comes the motion, Patterson. Patterson keeps it as he gets to the 10-yard line. That will be a gain of around 5 yards there, setting up 3rd down here.
Matt Reuter on the tackle.
The Knights continuing to move down the field slowly but surely as we have 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go here. 3rd down. Here comes Patterson. Patterson looks for a throw, and that ball is incomplete, intended to Woods. Here comes 4th and 6 here as Patterson receives signals, and we'll see what they do here, if they go to kicker Marshall Hines or if they keep the ball here.
And it looks like they are going to keep it. It looks like Marshall Hines is a little bit upset by that.
Yeah.
He's only kicked once this game.
Here comes 4th down to keep the shutout alive. 4th down to snap. Patterson, he looks back, looks to the throw, and that ball is incomplete, attended, and there's a flag there, and that looks to be a pass interference there, as people are all over Woods.
Flag on the play.
Let's see if is it going to be a 1st down?
It looks to me that should be a pass interference there, which would extend the chances
Pass
for,
interference against the Vikings.
and it will be a pass interference call,
That's going to be
extending the Knights' drive.
a lucky break right there for them. So now they get another chance. Yeah, and now it's going to be a 1st down for them.
I don't know about you, Joel, but I would love to see the Knights come out without that big, ugly 0 right there, and they're showing all signs of it as there's 1st and goal here from, 1st and 10, because it'll be 10-yard line.
It looks like the man controlling the stuff is having a little bit of problems. Apparently it's 4th down once again. Yeah, it's a timeout.
Timeout, Howell North.
And that'll be a Howell North timeout here as we
Their
reach
first charge timeout.
right under the 3-minute mark. Joel, we see the Knights offense continuing to struggle, but however, they are continuing to, they are getting some points potentially in the making.
I have a new ticket
How do you think
for the $50
this offense, with the 2nd string, with quarterback Austin Patterson coming in, has really affected the game plan of the Howell defense having to adjust to that?
Again,
I think, honestly, they aren't used to Austin Patterson's style just in general. So I honestly feel like getting a new quarterback in there really did help. The Knights move down the field.
Yes, because they are now, looks to be 4th and 1.
That's something.
Austin Patterson keeps it as he finds the end zone. As that is a touchdown for Francis Howell North, as they're able to put their first points on the board. Joel, take me through that play.
Austin Patterson is able to find his way through the line. They looked like they might have gotten him down a little bit, but he was able to regain his balance and get into the end zone for the Knights' first points of the game. And there's no more shutout.
And yes, that is right. as the Knights are once again able to avoid a shutout. If the kick is up from Marshall Hines, and that is good as they cut this lead to 43 points. Maybe a little
As long as we
too
didn't
little.
get, as long as we didn't get shut out, it's gone very well for the Knights right now. As Austin Patterson is able to get the Knights offense kicked up just a bit and finally get the crowd into it, as there's only 1:35 left in this game.
Yes, and this looks like it's going to be a little too late, but it's always nice to see this taking back to what happened last time against Holt a couple weeks ago, as Austin Patterson came in, was able to put some points on the board and giving the sophomores some time, and we talked about it then, and now we're talking about it here. How does it really affect kind of your confidence for your second string when they're used to getting reps for your lower C team and JV teams, but finally being able to come here on Friday night, put some points on the board? How does that help for the rest of the season for these young kids?
Honestly, it might give Patterson a little bit more hope, as he's been able to provide some offense that hasn't really been shown tonight. So maybe
Here comes
with
the
this,
onside kick here, trying to fool the ball, but in a big dog pile here, as in it looks like, who knows who has the ball here, as there's about 15. It looks like the 75 from Francis Howell. That's going to be Nathan Aguilar, and that's going to be recovered by Francis Howell. You like the idea of this play here as the clock continues to run due to over 50 yards, which should take us to the end of this game. Joel, just one big thing for the Knights. What do they have to do to make sure this big 43-point deficit does not happen again?
well, I think this is one thing that's been consistent, is that we need to talk about having a great defense and keeping them consistent, and along with that, trying to find an offense that is strong and can get through the defense of the other side.
Yes, indeed, as both teams on the sideline are walking to the field, shaking hands, and it's great to see the rivalry atmosphere come out. And unfortunately, the Knights were unable to take this tonight, as the final score was 50-7. I just want to thank everyone for watching. Joel, any final things?
I would. I'd like to thank everybody out here tonight. Hannah Wilson behind and score. Phoebe Primo behind the camera, along with Manny Chenault. Alongside me, Cole Sherman. My name is Joel Bennett. Thank you guys for watching the live broadcast. Good night.
Thank you for watching.